Hello, welcome
Howdy.
to the Amateur American F1 podcast. Howdy from Texas.
Our two favorite Texans.
Oh, you're not a Texan yet, man. I mean, in a few days, you'll get there.
I'm
Yeah,
basically more American than you because I'm
yeah.
a Native American.
Oh shit, yeah.
Dude, Red Bull
Whoa.
racing. Dude, I'm so tired of Red Bull winning every race. It's like so boring to watch these races because as soon as Red Bull takes the first corner, it's like they just have like the race is over.
Are you being a meme? Anyway, I'm playing as Albon. You're playing as who? Mr. Saturday, you said?
Mr. Saturday. Yeah.
Good old Georgie boy.
Georgie, yeah. Q3 off pure fucking
look at that, man.
And skill, unlike some other driver in a good car.
Yeah, pure talent, man. I mean, it's good to see, and he got bumped up a spot because of the whole Vettel thing.
Oh yeah,
which
I was rewatching.
Yeah, something like that happened last race too. I think, right?
It was Tsunoda.
Not with Vettel, but yeah.
No,
maybe they're just monitoring the pit.
I don't know, dude.
Stuff
I
more.
think this track, it's Austria again. Austria pot two.
Yeah.
I think this track is just too fast. That like, you hear my?
Oh, dude, it's like it's easy to leave the track, and I don't know. A lot of turns. What do you think?
I mean, pretty cool track. It's really, if we could get.
Oh, I like it. Yeah.
If we could get, I don't know why they're doing it 2 times in 1 week or like back to back. I mean, it's not that great of a track.
Yeah.
Honestly. Like, I don't know.
Change your mind. Are there any
I didn't say it was a great track. I just
any
said
adjustments
it's a cool
this week or no?
No.
Oh no, I messed up that turn bad. Yeah, that is like really weird, but it might be because they canceled it. What was it, Turkey?
No, Turkey's back on. They canceled Canada, which is a great track. I love that track.
Yeah, that's
at least
a good one.
I'd love to play on it. No, my friend said that they go backwards for this one, but they don't. So that was a fucking lie.
Dang, so nothing
it's
really.
Just the same fucking race again. And it's like this, like the track is good. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a classic, but it's like, it's so.
I like it. Wow, last.
It's just like, I don't know, man. It's just standard. It's typical.
I think it sucks that you have
exciting.
to do it twice in a row.
I feel like having one of the longer tracks like Baku or Spa be back to back would have been better. But like with such a like simplistic, quick track, like I don't know.
Oh yeah. Well, it's just been an interesting couple weeks since we last left off. I mean, I think the last podcast we actually released out there, probably only the first one. Verstappen, I believe, did he win? Which race was that? I can't remember.
The last race, like the one before this.
No, it was like 2 races ago.
That was motherfucking France.
Yeah, that was a good one. But no, it wasn't France. France was last week.
No, dude, Austria was last week.
Oh no, I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Which, speaking of last week, dude, that was the first boring race this season. Well, not the first, but that was the first one.
Yeah, it was pretty standard. I mean, it wasn't a bad race per se. It was just. I mean, I'm glad. Good result, for Red Bull, and honestly, like it's just good to see. Hamilton being challenged, of course. A lot of people like to see that. Speaking of, Hamilton got a contract renewal. Did you look into that?
I didn't look into it. I was at work all day, but I did see the thing when I woke up.
So one of the reasons he actually was signed, and like obviously, like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Obviously, keep Hamilton. It would have been interesting to see him go to another team, but regardless, one of the reasons is they want to have him on older drivers like him have a say on what goes into the next car iteration. So they want his expertise in the car development department. And people were saying that's one of the reasons why they keep Alfa Romeo keeps on to Raikkonen.
Yeah.
So he might get a contract renewal too.
Probably.
I don't know. I mean, the grid is very interesting. There's still a lot of open spots for next season.
Yeah, what's really worrying?
Be interesting to
really
see.
Worrying is that AlphaTauri hasn't re-signed any of their drivers.
I know. I wonder what their strategy might be. I don't know. I can't really say.
I anticipate them re-signing Gasly. I mean, dude, they've been so competitive.
I think they need to, yeah.
Like, they'll probably keep Tsunoda as well, because Tsunoda's definitely adjusting to the car. He's qualifying better and placing higher.
I mean, they've both basically almost changed the team. I mean, it's definitely they're contenders.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
because last year they were a fairly good midfield, but like, I mean, you had like Latifi, right? Was it Latifi? Can't remember. Their other guy. Oh yeah, no, it wasn't. Oh yeah, it was Kvyat. It's hard to remember, man. It seems like a long time ago.
We're literally playing the game.
But I see you put it as a 36 lap race. Wow.
It's like 36 minutes.
You really wanted to talk, man.
Dude, shut the fuck up. Talk.
Hey. Tanner's had a little booze. I'm just kidding. Me too.
Yeah, dude.
We had an episode last week.
Someone had a little too much booze, dude. Oh my.
Yeah, a little too much. I didn't feel comfortable releasing that. I mean, but you know, I don't know.
This is why I did the measurements.
Dude, I'm busy right now.
One order, a harness.
Oh my god.
Is that your brother?
I'm recording.
We have distractions, guys.
Jesus Christ.
Nice. I've tried to keep the so yeah, we all have distractions. It's life, man.
Let's just bleep that out.
Dude, I was listening to this podcast the other day, and it was a film podcast, and like, you know, it's like all right. I won't say what the podcast is, but anyway.
Why not?
One of the things that really was annoying. Okay, fine. I'm just kidding. I was gonna diss it. It's called the Indie Film Hustle. It's not bad. He talks to like a lot of like indie people that are like, oh, I made a feature for like $1,000, whatever. Anyway, he was doing this interview with this one guy, and I was listening to it while I was walking around, and like the way the guy transitions during the podcast, he wants to cut something out, it's just a giant like white noise. Like it's super loud. And it scared the shit out of me the first time I heard it.
Stupid. It sounds like an awful. It sounds like
I think it's incredibly dumb.
It sounds like an awful podcast.
Yeah, I know. Like the guy, like
it's like
there was like a dog that started barking, and then you hear a giant white noise, and it's not even leveled properly.
You're trying to be like David Lynch, dude. Fuck that guy, dude. I'm not listening to shit.
Anyway, it's a fairly decent podcast. I guess I can talk about it another time, but that's a whole nother topic.
No, you got to do like the Rooster Teeth podcast, like wherever like they start talking about some weird shit, like they bleep it out, dude. So like you know what they're talking about, but you don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, you kind of get that feeling that you missed something interesting.
Yeah. It's like you want to know what they said. And it's just like, dude, whatever, dude, fucking beep. And everyone's like, whoa. And it's just like,
you're like, what is that?
What did he say? And like everyone in the comments like speculating and shit. That's what we
should do. I mean, we basically actually did that on the last podcast we released. We cut out a middle section.
Oh, on my little tirade.
So we've done it before, and I mean, like, listen,
I've been listening to it.
Yeah. Well, no, it's just interesting, like. The thing about when you do a podcast, like you do have to watch out with what you say, and it's important to review the episode afterwards. Of course, want to make sure you don't say anything damaging in today's climate and everything.
Oh All I can say is nothing's more damaged than Miley Cyrus's voice.
You know, did you hear that cover of the Metallica song "Nothing Else Matters"?
No, I listened to the podcast though, Joe Rogan.
I actually liked that one. But her cover of "Nothing Else Matters" is pretty good, dude. It has Yo-Yo Ma on the strings. It has Elton John playing the piano. That cover album, I don't know if you've seen the list of guests they're gonna have on that. It looks really interesting.
What is she trying to do? Like Random Access Memories Part 2?
No, it's not her. I mean, it's like how they'll do tribute albums for charity.
Sure.
Yeah, so it's like one of those. So this one they're just covering. It's just a whole bunch of artists covering Metallica, and I'm really interested. Unfortunately, it's just going to be them covering the Black album, but that's okay. I'm interested to hear.
I want to hear Blackened.
Yeah.
Dude, I think that's the best Metallica.
No, but yeah, I mean, listen to the cover. It's fairly interesting. But anyway, back to F1, just to dial it in a little bit. We do digress here, but we like to keep it somewhat F1. Hamilton. Yeah. So anyway, I think it's a fairly good move. I can understand where they're coming from. There is an empty spot. Do you think this guarantees a Russell spot? I mean, obviously not. What are the odds now that they've signed Hamilton?
Well, I mean, the odds are 50-50. I don't know. I mean, like, there's only one driver, and they're more than likely going to fucking boot Valtteri.
Well, think about the comments that Hamilton has made about Valtteri. I mean, like, he's said, like, he's one of the best teammates I've ever had,
Yeah, that doesn't mean for shit when Valtteri's not.
They have a healthy relationship. So, I mean,
Valtteri's not in the points, dude. It doesn't mean anything.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, listen, I think Mercedes can take on Russell, even if they just kind of write him off almost as a development driver, even though he's clearly not. I mean, he's capable of more than that.
Yeah.
But at the very least, he could be a development driver in a sense, which he already kind of is. I mean,
yeah,
this whole Williams thing is hella interesting, man. I mean, they have the same engine. He drives the car every now and then, like they do testing sessions, right?
Yeah.
Do you know how his relationship works exactly? Because he's a reserve driver, I know that, or something like that.
I mean, I wouldn't say I know very well, but I know that, like, yeah, Mercedes and Williams have, like, like the whole driver program thing. Like, AlphaTauri is like a feeder team, and Alfa Romeo is a feeder team. Like,
which team is Alfa Romeo a feeder team for? Okay, that makes sense.
I could be wrong, but whatever.
Maybe that would make sense though, because Raikkonen.
Yeah.
And Leclerc. But go ahead.
But it's just like, yeah. So they do have partnerships. Oh Jesus! I just spun out. Dude, George, you're so bad at driving. What was I saying? Jesus Christ.
You were talking about how George Russell, his relationship with Mercedes, like he's a reserve driver. Like he's not. That's the wrong term. You were about to correct me on that.
Oh, I wasn't going to correct you because I don't know what the correct term is.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, yeah, he basically
he does something.
Reserve driver, and like, yeah, he's basically is a part of the Mercedes junior program, which like every other team has. So like, when he's ready, or when the team is ready, which it seems like next year, they're probably going to sign him and pull him over up into Mercedes from
the big leagues.
And like I said, Russell has like proven himself time and time again. It's like he's basically in like one of the worst cars in the grid, and like he's like
unfortunately
every like drop out of that. Like it's pretty incredible. This guy.
Oh, I mean, it's just interesting to see his growth from last year, and I'm sure the Mercedes opportunity was a confidence booster, obviously, but he kind of always had that. He always was something about him. He had something about him that just.
Yeah, I agree.
For me, I instantly liked him the second I just saw him on the grid. Like it's like, oh, this guy in last place.
Well,
but,
it's his whole. It's
or,
his whole
near the
persona.
bottom.
He's an underdog. Like the only
of course,
time
everyone likes a good
anyone
underdog.
disliked him was when he crashed with fucking Bottas and like smacked him on the head, and which was like rightfully not the right thing, but he apologized immediately. Every time, there's so many times where Williams has fucked him out of like getting points or like placing well, and he's
awful.
just like he's taking it on the chin and just been like, hey, like we win and lose as a team, like it's no one's fault, like it's just.
Yeah, that was a really good comment I heard recently.
Because
I don't know.
The last race, I was like, I mean, the front of the grid's basically the same, except Mercedes just switched with Red Bull. Like, it's not. I mean, it can be exciting like it was the past two races, but like, obviously, in races like Austria, where straight line speed is basically crucial, like, it's gonna get boring quick because the Red Bull car is much faster than the Mercedes.
Oh, it is. It is. And I mean, it's interesting. I mean, it's almost like we're getting the same thing, just a different flavor, really. Not necessarily, but
yeah, I mean, basically, that's how I see it. Like everyone's like, yeah, like fucking Max, and I'm just like, dude, it's just kind of the same thing. Like it's still not like a multi-team battle for first or like a very close battle for first. It's like Verstappen takes the first corner unless he screws up, like he's gonna win. But that's like what made the last two races great is that like shit happened. Like Verstappen crashed out at Baku, and then at France, he went wide and Lewis took the lead. And that whole race he was playing catch up.
Oh yeah, and I mean it's interesting to hear your perspective on it because I know you're a big Max fan. I mean he was definitely one of your favorite drivers, like going into this sport originally.
Yeah, he definitely was.
And that could be just the way that Drive to Survive sets it up. I mean that's a whole.
Definitely is because like I've followed Jesus Christ.
What? So what are you saying there?
What I'm saying is that basically Drive to Survive basically made it about Max, sort of like they made him the underdog. And I mean, of course you attached to Red Bull.
I don't know. He was kind of the villain in the first season, just a little bit. Because really, what the show did is Daniel Ricciardo is the first driver you're introduced to.
I'm not here to argue the filmmaking. I'm saying is that.
Well, no, I mean that has an effect on the people that get an interest into the sport. I mean, there's a reason a lot of guys like Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah, Ricciardo just has like a charisma either way. He doesn't need to have an entire show about him. He doesn't need to be.
No,
he doesn't need to be the first guy shown to have a bunch of fans. Like he just has that aura. But no, the whole show is basically about the Mercedes domination. Like they show Mercedes as the bad guy. Like why do you think they didn't even show the Mercedes drivers or the Mercedes team until the second season? Third season.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
As like, because there's
it was really interesting the way they did that. But anyway, we can talk about Drive to Survive. We've talked about that on our test episodes of this podcast. But anyway, it's a good show. It's just I don't know. I don't even want to talk about it.
Well, I mean,
I'm glad it got people interested in the sport, though.
I mean, it got me and you interested in the sport. So.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's getting more and more people each year. So.
Well, I mean, it's just Oh my god, dude, my tires are dead. Bono.
Yeah, Bono, my tires are gone.
Holy shit, they really are, dude. No grip.
I'm doing pretty good, actually. Anyway, so what else is there? Wasn't there another contract extension? I mean, last episode we mentioned the Ocon, whatever.
Oh yeah,
You know, he's kind of disappeared into the void for me. Like, I
Basically.
was kind of a fan of him, but like he hasn't really done anything to stick out lately. Like at Renault, like he was definitely like getting some results, but now this season he's just invisible. It's kind of like Stroll. They both are just there.
Yeah, he's another driver that's
You
a
know?
part of like the Mercedes driver program.
Stroll?
No, Ocon. Jesus.
Okay, yeah. I was about to be like Stroll. I mean, we've talked about Stroll before. I
Yeah.
think he's a
Because
good driver, but
yeah, because like when he was booted from what team was he booted from? Wasn't it Renault? No, it was BWT because fucking
yes,
what's
he
his
was.
face?
Yeah. He was out for a season, I believe. Yeah, he was out for 2020, I think. No. 2019.
Oh shit! I just crashed.
He didn't race. But yeah, he didn't race in 2019, and he thought his career was over. But then he came back.
Yeah, and he was during that time. He was a I don't think it was a reserve driver. I think he was a test driver for Mercedes.
Yes, that's what it is. Oh my God, what is that crash? Whoa. That's an illegal overtake? Are you kidding?
Is it a Hamilton back there, dude? My tires spun out on me and I crashed into it.
You caused that thing? We need an instant replay on that.
I have a 10-second time
penalty. But regardless, yeah. That's what I was saying Russell was. He's a test driver for Mercedes. By the way, we got another test driver in AlphaTauri this weekend. I don't know anything about him.
Yeah, that's what I noticed. There was a bunch of new faces in the new in the practice sessions.
Yeah. So I mean, that's cool to see. I mean, I like seeing new drivers, new faces.
The Chinese guy, I can't remember his name. Zhou.
Yes, yeah, he raced.
I'm gonna drive dirty, dude. I'm gonna run you off the road.
Who, me?
Dude, you just turned into me. Stick to your line, bro.
You stick to your line. Now the podcast is different if me and you are racing each other.
Dude.
Huh?
I can't wait for dude. Let's talk about the new game. Jesus Christ, dude. Break, why don't you? My God.
I was trying not to run into you, actually. Yeah, the new game. I'm interested. I mean, I think it'll be a fun game. Yeah, so I can't wait. These physics are gonna screw me.
Yeah, dude. The new damage system, where like basically every part of the fucking barge boards, the floor, the wings, the suspension, everything can get damaged, dude. And I was watching some gameplay, and they said like, yeah, like if you damage your barge board to the floor, like those are like pieces of the car that can't be repaired. So it's like you're stuck with those, like with those consequences for the entire game. All right, gotta catch Max, bro.
Like the career mode?
Yeah. Well, no, just like in game.
Oh, just the entire race.
Yeah, the career mode, obviously they fix the fucking car, but during the race.
Yeah, that'll be really interesting because you can't like drive super aggressively. Have you ever done any of these international or not international? The what's it called? It's the classic races or anything?
Like with the classic cars.
Yeah,
dude, I love like the 2010s and the 2009s.
Those are frustrating, man. Oh my God, those cars, like, wow, sports come a long way. These cars handle so much better.
Yeah, I mean, I use the 2010 Red Bull, which is amazing, like the 2008 McLaren, but like,
you know what else is really good? That Virgin one. That one's really good.
Yeah, that's the McLaren.
It's like the 2008 one. That's a
like,
great
I love
car
that
too.
era, like that was the V10 era, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's the previous era. So
yeah, dude. Did you?
I mean, obviously, like there's a lot to love about it. Obviously, if you like this era, the era previously, yeah. I mean, because it feels familiar, but it's different. It's rougher. I mean, you can't for one, you can't accelerate or you can't shift gears around the corners in those cars at all. Whereas now you can in this era.
It's probably because do they still have the paddles on the steering wheel?
Glitch? Yes.
Interesting. I don't know. Could be different.
Yeah, that's the one thing I've noticed.
In the gearbox, but yeah. No, dude, did you listen to the podcast I sent you, the Beyond the Grid with Christian Horner?
I did not. No. Tell me about it. I don't really like Beyond the Grid, but
I mean, it's terrible. I mean, it's not terrible. It's fine, but I just don't like the whole like formula they have. But dude,
well, tell me about it.
It's pretty good though.
What'd you learn from it?
Basically, they didn't really talk about much. They were just talking about like the drivers they had, which Christian Horner ranked his top, I think, 3 Red Bull drivers, which he said were DC, David Coulthard. I don't know how to say his last name, and then Vettel, of course, and now Verstappen. And yeah, they're talking. He was talking about the new engine that they're because Honda's leaving the sport, which I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, why is Honda leaving? And they were talking about.
Yeah, that was a shocker, man. I mean, I remember that announcement.
Yeah. So they stayed for this.
Everyone's like, "What now?"
So Red Bull, there's now 3 engine manufacturers in the sport. There's Mercedes, which obviously he said the conversation with Toto was very short for that one. And then there's Renault, which of course, kind of
controversy,
burned that bridge. And then there's Ferrari. And he's like, well, Ferraris has their own problems. So he was like, so we're like,
yeah,
we
man,
should take this as an opportunity to just develop our own engine. Which,
yeah, that's the speculation.
I mean, it's basically confirmed now. Like that's what they're gonna do. I don't know.
I've heard they've gotten the blessing from Honda to do that. Essentially,
like from what I gathered, he didn't really specify, and I don't really know. But to me, it sounds like they're gonna like. Honda is basically going to leave them the engine, but like any upgrades or specs or modifications, like it's to them, like they're just going to give them the engine.
Yeah, you want to know a weird way to compare it to, and this is like something you'll probably think is interesting. It's like I'm blanking here. It's I think it's like either Call of Duty or Half-Life. I can't remember because I'm dumb, but there's this one of those games they were running off an old engine and they modified it so much that it just eventually became its own engine. I'm pretty sure it's like Half-Life, but do you know what I'm talking about vaguely?
Probably. I mean, it could be either of those games, dude. Because those games, the engines, they use those engines.
Right.
For like.
Well, it was one of those, but you get the idea. Same principle. I mean, a ship of Theseus, right? The logical argument.
Oh shit!
Are you familiar with that?
Overtook Verstappen, bro.
Yeah. Are you familiar with that?
The ship of Theseus.
Yeah, it's like so if there's a hypothetical ship and it needs repairing.
Oh, and
at what point when you repair a certain piece does it become not the old ship and the new ship? Like when does it become the new ship?
Like with how every cell in your body repairs and regenerates and dies. It's like at what point, like you're literally not the same person.
Not the same person. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's pretty.
It's a pretty spooky short idea, actually. I don't know concept.
I mean,
anyway.
No, yeah, that's what he was saying. Then he talked about Ricardo, and he actually said that Ricardo called him up last season, like 2020. He said like mid-pandemic, like 2020.
Yeah.
And Ricardo just basically said like, "Hey, oh shit, I just heard that motherfucker." That's our roommate's fucking dog, Mojo.
How loud is it on your end?
I mean, I just heard the one bark. He's fine.
What?
It's fine. But
should I just ignore it? Because I can't really.
No,
anyway.
But that dog's a real bastard.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I kind of just don't want to give him the attention, but we'll see how it ends up in the podcast.
When I hear him, but it's not distracting.
Go ahead.
He was talking to Ricardo, and he said Ricardo called him up. He's just like, "Hey, Christian, I know you told me so, but you told me so." Or, fuck, Jesus Christ, I butchered it.
Dude, poor guy, man. I mean, it's gotta hurt in some way. But I just don't think he had it in him.
And for me, yeah, to that point where like I'm giving Lando shit for not having to go through like a shit box like Gasly or Claire or fucking anyone else. I mean, he is driving with the seasoned veteran driver who was considered world champion material, and he's destroying worse than.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Worse than Verstappen destroyed Albon last year. Like, just think of that.
Yeah, man, and I just think I don't know. I mean, it's just interesting. Like he maybe should have stuck with. I don't know.
Alpine's like they're not that competitive.
Oh yeah, no, that was a good move, but it just looks bad. You're jumping from 3 teams like in a row.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just him getting desperate. I think he needs. I mean, I don't want to speak for him.
I think he's done. We've already had this discussion before, but I think his time it's not up. But
I mean, he could potentially win if he was, say, in a Mercedes or a Red Bull. Like, I think he has the skill, but I think, as far as his competitive edge and all the other cars, like, it's like, think about, like, Verstappen and Hamilton. Like, they've been with the same team, the same cars, the same engineers for, like, years.
And that does have an impact.
I mean, huge impact. And just like,
because you're close with the team, and like I said, you have a relationship. You can actually control what happens with the car. Like,
I mean,
I'm sure Bottas doesn't have as big of a say, but he definitely probably has a say on the design of the car for the next year.
Yeah,
generally
or at
speaking,
least as far as like customizing it, the balance, the brake.
Yeah, whereas like Perez, like it's probably like, is the seat nice for you? Or I don't know. Like it's obviously not going to be. It's not going to be as much as Verstappen has over the car.
I mean, even Hamilton said like. I mean, it's they're the same cars. Like they don't dumb it down. It's just a matter of like Max is more fine tuned than Perez, but Hamilton did say like in this one interview I watched a while ago, like, he was saying that like part of being a good driver is like not only performing on the track but being able to communicate what exactly you need and what exactly you feel to the engineers so that they can fix it.
Yeah,
like
it's a skill set.
Like directing a film. It's like you need to be able to convey your vision to these people who are in control of that aspect.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, and that has and that's probably why Lando is doing so well versus Ricardo, who just keeps jumping ship. And it's like,
it's the experience. Yeah,
I think I even saw that.
Is this a 3-lap? Is this a 3-pit race? No.
Can be.
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Pit? I'll pit with you. Let's pit next lap. So it's you and me versus the rest of the team.
Let's do it. Sure. All right, go ahead.
All right, I'm calling it in.
But yeah, no, that's a good like way to segue it, just to tie it all together. I mean, you're absolutely right. Like Lando just has more experience with the team. And at the end, that will make a hell of a difference.
Oh, yeah, it does. I mean, that's why. Yeah, just jumping from team to team. That's why with Gasly, like I don't want Gasly to leave AlphaTauri because they've found their like synchronicity. Like they found their sweet spot. Like they're performing. Like, it's so hilarious when people are like, "Oh, it's McLaren against Ferrari." I'm like, really? It's McLaren against fucking AlphaTauri, dude. Like,
yeah, man. I'm sad. Like it seems like Ferrari was getting something there, and it just disappeared. Like, that's kind of why I was on the Leclerc train for a little bit, because he definitely had some energy going into the first half of the season. Like, something about it, I was like, all right, maybe this Leclerc's going to do well this year, but nah, he's just kind of underperforming, really.
No, I mean last race.
I mean, he's not underperforming. It's just he's
racing,
like
the cars, the team. I don't know. It's just a lack of synchronicity that like you need. Like Christian Horner. You should really listen to that interview. It's a great insight into like.
I probably will. Yeah. Hey, look, Leclerc. What's up?
He was just saying like this is a people sport. Like.
Yeah, you have to
like
manage.
Every person plays important parts, like from the factory to the pits to the driver, like, and that's where I'm like, dude, like people keep saying like Gasly back to Red Bull or Gasly to this team or Gasly to that team. I'm like, no, dude, he's found his like, his sweet spot with fucking AlphaTauri, and like.
Yeah, man, it's exactly like a film.
It is, dude. It's just like, and like the directors are literally Toto and fucking Christian Horner, or they're like, I mean, just like Horner was talking about, he was just like, listen, like, my job is to find the best people for the job, or the best people to get the job done.
Yeah, it's like a symphony in a way. I don't know.
He's just like, that's my job, and if I fail at that job, then the whole team collapses.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
absolutely.
That makes total sense.
I mean, that's just really, that sounds like good perspective, like not even just for F1. Just sounds interesting. No! Did you do that? Did you do that? On purpose?
Yeah.
What the hell? Were you taunting me? Oh man, now you can watch our terrible. You're just messing around at this point, dude. If I had won, that would have been so cool because I was in last.
Yeah, well,
but
we know you would have won, but
we're here for entertainment, dude.
Yeah. No, you should listen to. I don't know that. I like the Beyond. Like I think the formula, like the format, the structure is a little like but I generally do like the people they bring on, the conversations they have.
Oh sure, I mean, they have the access to good guests. I mean, it's made by
Formula One.
What Formula One Sky, or whoever owns it. Is it Sky Media or I forgot who owns F1?
I think it is Sky Media.
It's something like that. But
No, it's just interesting, dude, to just get the perspective. I want Toto Wolff on there. I want to hear him. Like, I want to hear what he has to say about Mercedes.
I think he's been on there, but it was a while ago.
No, dude, I mean, like now that like they're clearly 4 races, they haven't won 4 races in a row, and that like they're falling behind, and like Perez, dude. God damn, shout out to Perez, dude.
He's doing great.
He's doing so good, dude. And what's his name talked about it because the guy asked him like, dude, what is it in Perez that you didn't find in Albon or Gasly? And frankly, dude, what's his name? Oh!
Oh my god. You had Dick.
Oh shit.
Go. Whoa. Dude, you missed that swipe. Oh man, we're just messing around.
And he just said that like experience, dude. Just the experience that like what you said, like older drivers just offer, dude.
Oh yeah, and he probably just has more patience. Absolutely. I mean, talk about a stark contrast to Verstappen.
Yeah.
But
dude,
it's interesting.
Verstappen won his first race at 18 years old.
Yeah, I mean that'll set the ego for you there.
And I think I don't know the details, but I think what they did is they kicked Kvyat out of Red Bull and took Verstappen out of Toro Rosso, and that's when he won the race. So it was just kind of like yeah. So it's like, of course, that is going to stroke me.
Well, it's also interesting. I mean, wow, I lost my train of thought. Oh no, it also is interesting because like Perez, like the choice for Perez, I remember a lot of the fans wanted it, but it didn't. I mean, it seemed like a good choice, but it wasn't like a wow, that's a great choice. You know, it just seemed like a good choice.
Yeah, but I mean, dude, Perez clearly has. Thanks. Has some level of something to him, which I think he does.
Yeah, you're getting distracted.
I think he does, dude.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean the last season obviously changed him because he's definitely been racing for a little while. And you know, when he's playing for the seat, I mean, he did well under that pressure.
He did. That's exactly it, dude. He killed under that pressure, dude. Like, how many drivers could like
that was
like
a record,
the second to last race just fucking pull it together and like that? Like you could tell, like he cried, like you hear him crying, and like, that's just like it's so heartwarming. It's just like, dude, like this guy. He didn't do it for the team. He didn't do it for anybody. Like he did it for him.
Yeah.
Which, like, yeah, like they definitely painted Perez as like an antagonist in Drive to Survive because he booted out Ocon when Stroll blocked it.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that very well because I did not like Perez
but it's
at
like,
first.
Dude, it's like he's seasoned, dude. He's done his. He's proven himself.
I mean, he might have a nice little second wind of his career, man. I mean, I don't see.
Dude, he did.
Him leaving anytime soon. He's been in the sport for a while.
Like,
yeah.
What is that? The 5th race of the season. He's already won. And of course, I mean, Max.
Yeah. New team, new car.
Did crash out, like, of course, but it's like still, he held second position behind third position behind Lewis the entire race.
I love how you call him Lewis. It's like he's your, on a first name basis.
Sorry,
now you're probably just tired of calling him Hamilton.
I like how he spells his name, Lewis. I like the simplicity, the straightforwardness of the L-E-W. Lou.
Instead of L-O-U-I-S? Like
yeah,
Louis?
like that just looks so dumb. Like Lewis.
Like royalty? I mean, dude, that's literally his name. I mean,
no, I'm just saying, like the L-E, the way he spells it, I like it. It's just a much more like modern.
Wow. Chic. I think I'm with Checo here. Yeah, we just gotten a little bit of wheel-to-wheel action. Yeah, man. I mean, I've been playing a little bit more in this game just with the international races, the old cars. Something about that just makes it more. You have to get used to the more like wheel-to-wheel interactions.
Yeah, that's because the cars are smaller. Did you see the new regulation?
Because that's a whole different.
Did you see the regulation mock-ups for the new cars in 2022? They're tiny.
Are they going to be small?
Tiny. That's the biggest issue.
That's good.
With the current era is that these cars are so huge that like the tracks are ancient, and it's like there's not enough space for like all this like tight, close quarter like fighting.
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah, I think you were talking about that about how what's it called? Monaco is just like a completely different race now.
It is, dude.
Oh, dude. Yeah, because it's like it wasn't designed for cars like that. So now it's like kind of dangerous. And especially, oh my God, that other circuit. And it's hilarious that they designed it when the cars were this big. What is that circuit? You know what I'm talking about? It's the one where all the crazy stuff happened. I think it's Baku. The Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Wow, dude. Yeah, and that's a crazy circuit.
It's probably my favorite circuit, just because like I always loved to play that in the game, just because it was so much fun. But like after that race, dude, like that race was just amazing.
It's a good race.
So I just hope that tomorrow morning's race is going to be as exciting.
I mean, I think it'll be interesting. Like the track has like interesting.
I think if Lando can get a good start and get P1 or at least fight for P1 better than Lewis can, like, yeah, we're in for some good shit. Or if there's rain, if there's literally just any monkey wrench thrown in, like I want that so bad.
Yeah, just add some excitement to it. I mean, of course. Yeah, it's really interesting, like the McLaren aspect. Like, I think really Ricciardo, long shot. But Norris, like, there definitely can be some shakeups here. I mean, I just remember last year it was more of like he was just killing it in the midfield. Him and Sainz, like they really were, but they weren't really getting like podium results necessarily all the time. Whereas like this year, it's definitely possible for them to get a few podiums.
Norris has 2. So
we've already seen it. Yeah. Yeah, Norris is a really interesting like character, like just character wise. Like I don't know if I like him on that front. I think I like him more as a driver.
Yeah.
Because like I get like he's trying to like do the Twitch streams and everything and be like kind of the cool like memer. But for me it's not my favorite thing. But I get it. He's also younger. Yeah. How old is he?
He's I think basically 19, 20.
Okay, yeah. So I mean he's younger, like obviously like, he's gonna act that way. Genuinely,
Yeah, I mean that's
and how dare me for criticizing him for that, but I don't know.
I mean that's part of my trepidation for liking him as well.
Yeah.
He is.
But I don't know if it gets people into the sport. I mean, think about it right now. We have a grid that's mostly young people, and this is a new
it is a phenomenon. New era. I mean, it's not a new phenomenon, it's just a new era. Like as soon as like Hamilton, Vettel, like as soon as all the like seasoned drivers retire, like Max is going to be the oldest of them, or at least the most veteran.
It's insane.
Like which is pretty crazy because he's our age.
Well, Perez probably, but
no, Perez is old, dude. He's
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Perez will probably be the oldest on the grid.
Maybe. I'm just saying, like of this generation of like new drivers, Max is the oldest. Of like Pierre, of like Gasly, Russell, Stroll, like these younger guys that are all under like 25.
Oh, absolutely. Well,
I can name them all right now.
I think
we're Gasly, Russell, who I'm playing as, Leclerc, Norris, Stroll, Ocon, and who's the other guy that said? Can't remember. Who are you playing as?
I was playing as Albon.
Oh yeah, never mind. Anyway, yeah. Well, we're at the end of the race.
Let's just do a quick prediction here of the race. I think Lando is going to get a podium.
I mean, I could see that. Yeah, I mean, he's got P2. He's a great driver, consistent. He has the competitive car. Yeah, I mean, I think Max is going to take it again. I mean, he swept it last week. Like, there was literally no doubt about it. That's why it was such a boring race. I'm just hoping.
You think? I think Hamilton will win. I'm hoping for it.
P4. He's in P3? No, he's in P4.
Well, dude, let's just talk about this briefly. And I know we'll kind of wrap this up. We're at the end. It's funny though how it's like, Hamilton's Instagram. It's like,
Jesus.
and like this is just him as a person, It's just funny though, but it's like him wearing like some kind of fashion brand thing after him losing a race or whatever.
I mean,
or just not taking P1.
Yeah, Lewis's whole.
It's kind of funny.
I
but...
love his Instagram persona, dude. Just like the like the.
Oh, I do too.
The what would they call it? Like the normie, like keep your head up, heart high, never give up, like whole mentality, and like I mean, they've all got a good Instagram presence, so it's pretty enjoyable.
Yeah, I would say so. That's the topic for maybe the next episode. We'll keep it down. But I guess thanks for tuning in. Predictions. I don't even want to do it. I just want to say Verstappen, Hamilton, and Norris podium somehow.
I'm gonna say
I don't even know how to rank that shit.
Verstappen.
Actually, maybe Gasly has a chance.
I don't know, man. I'm just gonna say Verstappen's gonna win. Norris probably gonna finish P2, and then it's gonna be between Perez and Hamilton. So that's where the fight's gonna be, P3. So that's my prediction.
Russell P7. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, dude.
One can dream.
P10? No, he's in P8 now, dude. That man, he's getting
P8.
there. He's going to get points tomorrow. I bet my life on
it. I think so. Or he'll be like gutted,
Yeah. They'll be like, hey, Russell, we'll need you to repair the car. We run out of gas. We forgot to fill it up at the start of the race. We're very sorry. I'm very sorry. He's just like, gutted, mate. Gutted. And he's gonna post on his Instagram like him hugging the team, like the fucking idiots who forgot to fill up his car. And it's just like, we win and lose the team. Like, it's no one's fault. We'll come back better next time. It's like, dude, there's no next time. This is your time right now. All right. And with that, we'll call it because Mr. Tang Meng has to take a pisso. So,
I do too. All right, that was a good one.
All right, good podcast. We'll catch you 2 weeks from now. When wait, I wrote it on my calendar, dude. Look at me. I wrote my shit on my calendar. I
already stopped the clip, but keep going.
When we catch you at, I'm not on July yet. Silverstone. July 18th, Sunday. I would have been at that race live, but listen, you fucking Brits are not opening your fucking country.
Mark your calendars. Dude, I've already stopped.
Oh!
I'm going to cut the recording. I have to pee so bad.
All right, I'll be right back.